Hello YouTube. It's my first ever magic video, and I'm planning to make more. And this is on a subject that I believe is one of the few, if not only, in the world. And it's a cube I'm making. It's in the process. I have like about 80 cards right now, and it's a cube that it's very unique because it plays some of the worst cards ever printed. But I'm not talking about cards that do absolutely nothing, like Darksteel Relic and stuff like that. I'm talking about cards that, they're not the worst cards ever, but they're pretty bad. They're like the card you see in draft, and you're like, oh, this is the worst card I've seen ever, and you don't play it. Well, I'm playing those, and they're cool. So I'm gonna start with my artifact selection here. We have a scrap heap right here. That's whenever an artifact or enchantment is put in the graveyard from play, you gain a life. Has its uses, but not many. I have a snake basket. This card's in here because I think it's fun. You know, I don't want it to be a boring cube, so snake basket's one of those cards that make it a little more entertaining. Got a grappling hook. Now, this card's not horrible, but it isn't exactly a good card. You've never actually built a standard deck and said, I want to put grappling hook inside. And if you have, props to you. Goblin Dirigible. This is another one of those just fun cards. It's a 6 mana, 4/4 flyer, and it doesn't untap unless you pay 4 during your upkeep. Sphinx Bone Wand. This card, one of those cards you could like first pick and build around. It's not exactly good, but it gets there sometimes. Solarion, I believe it is. Yep, Solarion. Sunburst for 7, and you could tap and double the counters on him. He's very slow. Aladdin's Ring, in my opinion, a very worse Tower of Calamities. It is better at sometimes, but it's very worse. It's 8. Razor Boomerang, which might just be the worst equipment printed ever. No, I can't say that. There's got to be worse, but Razor Boomerang is definitely on the lower end of quality. And Mirror Mind Servant, which might actually just be the best card in this cube, because it is a 1/1 for 1 that goes in any deck. So those are the artifacts, the colorless artifacts, I should say. Going to the black because they're closer than anything else. We have a Mortal Coil. Kills you most of the time, but it's actually somewhat playable. So, it's somewhat fun. Corrupt Official. This guy, I was looking through one of my friend's binders, and I was like, wow, this guy's he's not the worst card, but he's definitely cool, and that's why I like him. When he becomes blocked, defending player discards a card at random, and he could regen. That's pretty cool. Abyssal Horror is a 6 mana 2/2 flyer. And he comes in, a target player discards 2 cards. You could even target yourself. Chimney Imp. Yeah, I believe this is self-exclamatory. He's funny, though. Bad edge. Night Haze. You could just cycle this if you need to, but I figured it has its uses. It's a really good combo with one of the other cards in the set, or in the cube. I'll show you later. I have a Drinker of Sorrow, who is a 5/3 for 3, which isn't bad, but it can't block, and when it deals damage, you sacrifice a permanent, which may just be an upside. You never know. Hunger of the Nim. It's a sorcery that gives target creature +1/+0 until end of turn for each artifact you control. If this was an instant, it'd be much better. And Blind Creeper, who is one of the better cards in the cube. He's a 3/3 for 2. And someone has to play 3 spells at a turn. You and your opponent, or anyone. And it dies, or else it's a 3/3 for 2, which you can't go wrong with. I'll go with the blue cards now. And here's one where the combo comes in a little bit. I have a Scornful Egotist. He's an 8 mana 1/1 with Morph. Makes him a 2/2 for 3. Shrouded Serpent. This guy is one of the more fun cards. He's a 7 mana 4/4 who's unblockable unless a player pays 4 when you're when the defending player pays 4 when you attack. He's okay. Fold into the Aether, which is the only counter spell so far, where counter target spell. If you do that spell's controller, put a creature card from his or her hand into play, which might just screw you. Coral Reef. I had to put at least one Homelands card, and Coral Reef says nothing more than this was made in Homelands. It doesn't do much. You should look it up. Leviathan. He's one of those Timmy cards that's really fun. For 9 mana, you get a 10/10 with Trample. There's no ways to sneak them into play so far, but there might actually be one. You never know. Here's the other part of the what is that card? Night Haze combo. Tide Shaper Mystic. Target land becomes the basic land type of your choice until end of turn. Play this ability during your turn. Only during your turn. So you could be like, I'll make that a swamp and then get in for some unblockable damage. It's not the best strategy, but it works. And Sirakar Spellblade. Yeah. He's here. He's a 2/1 for 3. Who might actually have a decent ability. Depending on how the cube works out. I've never played it yet. Locks it on Peacekeeper. He keeps the peace. Literally. Dogged, something like that. Hunter. Destroy target creature token for 3, and he's a 1/1. Not horrible. I only have 1 token maker so far though, so he might just be horrible. Trap Digger, which is a card I think deserves some respect in casual formats. Whoop. 1 second, let me adjust my camera. Alright, here we go. He's a 4 mana, 1/3, and for 3 mana you could tap it and put a trap counter on a land you control, and sacrifice a land with a trap counter, and deal 3 damage to target attacking creature without flying. He's very fun. I can tell you that right now. Archangel Light. It's probably the newest card in this cube. And I can tell you right now, it might actually be decent, sadly. And the 1/1 with Shadow for 1. Because there has to be some sort of aggro deck. And so far you have to be 4 colors to do it. Because there's aggro in every color, but there's not enough in the single color to use it. We're going to the single multicolored card. Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, I had him laying around. I decided to throw him in here. I'll go to red. I think red is one of the biggest colors. Break open. Flip a morph for 2. Not bad. Trash for treasure. Which I actually just saw play in Legacy recently. I was very surprised. But I traded for this card before it was saw play in Legacy, so I'm kind of more original than that guy. But either way, it's still pretty cool. You get back that snake basket and reuse it. Mind Layer, Trap Layer's older brother. He's a dwarf, which makes him funnier. Put a mining counter on target land, and when the land is tapped, destroy it, and when he leaves play, remove all mine counter from lands. Trap Digger doesn't say that, but I'm not sure if he was errated. Volcano Hellion, which is one of my favorite cards ever printed.